Wyatt Earp, Justiciarul Vestului, as I think it was promoted here, called here. Kevin Costner in the leading role of a complex individual. I think I've read at the end something like he was never wounded. Interesting for a gunfighter. He was on both sides of the law. Indeed, the film has in the beginning this story of a man who is traumatized. Indeed, he's suffering a big loss, and he cannot cope with adversity and trauma, which is something we should do. There are now many rules, suggestions we can apply. Positive psychology. And there is a book called The How of Happiness, a brilliant professor, Sonia Bornitsky, and among the 12 rules would be coping with adversity and trauma. One needs a strategy to cope with adversity. Termina, and the possibility is, well, many people suffer what we know as post-traumatic stress disorder after a loss. Termina, for being in a war, unemployment now with this pandemic. There's PTSD, but there's also the chance of PTG, post-traumatic growth. You go through this and you come out stronger, aware of the limits, aware of the abyss, which is what the very stable genius claims. He's on steroids and he claims he knows about the disease he has learned, and now he is Superman. But that's just nonsense. This is a mad individual, a mad world, the one that supports him. That's tragic, really tragicomic. So anyway, for Wyatt Earp, for quite some time he is beaten. He's down so low he descends that he's begging. He's drinking. He becomes an alcoholic after going through this trauma. And there is a scene in which he meets a stranger who arrives at this saloon and, please give me some money. Look at your estate. I don't. These are not the words. It's not a quote, but just what I remember. And give me some money. Well, you know what? Come inside with me if you're hungry, and I will pay for you to eat. So the stranger is very kind and generous, and aware that giving money, that's not something one should do. On the contrary, for an alcoholic, because that's what he will do. He will go and buy drink. And so you're helping his destruction, not salvation. And what he does is he kicks this man and robs him. Now, after that, there will still be complications, let's put it this way, with the law, because, for instance, there's another moment of extreme violence and deplorable, despicable for most humans, I would say, in which Wyatt Earp takes revenge, which is, well, in the Bible, an eye for an eye, the Old Testament, before the idea was turn the other cheek, it's a joke in a film, Heaven is for Real, with Greg Kinnear. I've seen it these days. The girl is at school, they insult her brother, and she kicks two boys. And when they speak at the table, mother says, don't you know about turn the other cheek? Well, I turned his other cheek. She took it as she kicked him so hard that she turned his cheek. That was a sort of a joke or well, humorous moment. But then in this scene, Wyatt Earp shoots many times. They will say after that, but Wyatt, you shot 20, well, I don't know if it was 20 bullets, but still, he many times in this man whom he killed and he took revenge upon. It's true they kill his brother. It's a complicated mess, really, in which they also stand trial together with his brother. And they are acquitted because the judge says even if they did the wrong thing, considering what they had to put up with the threats and the attacks on the Wyatt Earp family, Wyatt Earp's family, well, I have to let them go. And he was quite a figure. We know of him even here. And in the end, there is a man who comes to him and says, well, you're the famous, yes, and let me tell you the story. And the wife says, oh, he saved so many people, so he doesn't remember all. But then he says that his father, I think it was in jail, and the mob came to have him killed. And Wyatt Earp, once he was representing the law, because there were two sides, he becomes a sheriff, actually, says, no, you will not take him. If you insist, you will kill me. He has, I don't know, 50 people, maybe more, in front of him, the mob. You will kill me, but I will take maybe 10 or 12 with you. And he says names, Harry, Tom, whatever. I might take even you too, Evans. So this young man tells the story. And also the fact that, well, after some time, this man who was saved by Wyatt Earp would still be killed in another place. So you saved him for nothing. So it says something like that. So, a very good film.